this video, we're doing another example of how to factor trinomials. These ones are a little bit more complicated than our most basic trinomials because they have a coefficient in front of the x squared term. So for example, this first problem has a coefficient of 6 in front of the x squared term. So we want to factor the trinomial 6x squared plus x minus 2. Now when there's a coefficient in front of the x squared term, it just means that we have to combine the factors of 6 with the factors here of 2 to find the combination that'll add to the coefficient on our first degree x term, which is an implied 1 or an understood 1. So if we look at the factors of 6, we could have 6 and 1 or 1 and 6, or 3 and 2 or 2 and 3. Our factors of 2 can only be one thing, 2 and 1. And now that we have our factors, we need to figure out which combination of factors gets us to 1x here in the middle. So if we look at 6 and 1 and we try to combine that with 2 and 1, we could either combine the 6 with the 2, which would give us 12, and the 1 with the 1, which would give us 1. 12 and 1, no matter how you make them positive or negative, we can't use 12 and 1 to get to 1. If we combine them the other way, if we say 6 and 1 and 2, then we end up with 6 and 2. But no matter how we make those positive and negative, we still can't use 6 and 2 to get to 1. We can't do 6 minus 2 or 6 plus 2, 2 minus 6. Nothing gets us to 1. So if we look at 3 and 2, along with 2 and 1 here, which combination of those is going to get us to 1? Well, if we multiply the 3 by this 2, that gives us 6. If we multiply the 2 by the 1, that gives us 2. So again, we have 6 and 2, which we already know can't be combined to get us to 1. But if we look here at 3 and 1, if we combine these two, and if we combine the 2's, then 3 times 1 is going to give us 3. 2 times 2 is going to give us 4. So now we have 3 and 4, and we can definitely use 3 and 4 to get to 1. We just need 4 minus 3. That gives us a 1 in the middle. So we know we're using the factors 3 and 2 for 6, and we know we're using the factors 2 and 1 for 2. So if we go ahead and draw our parentheses here, we know we're going to have 3x and 2x to get us to 6x squared, so 3x and 2x. We know we have to multiply the factor of 3 by this factor of 1 over here, so because those two go together, we have to put 1 here, and then we have to multiply this factor of 2 by the other factor of 2, so we know we need to put 2 here. Now we know we need a positive 4 and a negative 3 in order to get to positive 1x, because we need positive 4 minus 3 gets us to 1. So to get positive 4x, we're going to need to make sure that this 2 times 2x here gives us 4x is positive, so that means we need a positive in front of this 2. And we need to make sure that 3x is negative, and here we get 3x when we multiply the outer terms together. 3x times 1 gives us 3x, so we need to make sure that's negative, so we put a negative sign here in front of the 1. Now if we want to double check ourselves, we can FOIL this out. We'll multiply our first terms together. 3x times 2x gives us a 6x squared. 3x times a negative 1x is a negative 3x. 2 times 2x is a positive 4x. And 2 times a negative 1 is a negative 2. When we combine like terms, negative 3x and positive 4x, we get a positive 1x. So we get 6x squared plus 1x, or just plus x, minus 2. And you can see that we got back to our original problem, so we know that our factoring here is correct. We'll look at a second example here. We want to factor 2x squared minus 7x minus 15. The factors of 2 are going to be 2 and 1. The factors of 15 are going to be either 5 and 3 or 15 and 1. If we try to combine 15 and 1 with 2 and 1, we're either going to get 15 and 2 or 30 and 1, neither of which could possibly get us to 7 in the middle, which means we're going to need to combine 2 and 1 with 5 and 3. So if we combine 2 and 5, we get 10, and 1 and 3, we get 3. 10 and 3 could get us to 7. So let's combine them that way. We'll do 2 and 5 to get us to 10, and we'll do 1 and 3 to get us to 3, and we know we're going to need a negative 10 and a positive 3, because negative 10 and a positive 3 gets us to a negative 7. So with our parentheses here, since we know we're going to need 2x times 1x, we can go ahead and put those here. Instead of 1x, we can just write x. And then we know we need to combine the 2 with the 5, so the 5 is going to go here. And we know we need to combine the 1 with the 3, so the 3 is going to go here. We know we need a negative 10x, so the negative is going to go in front of the 5, so that when we do 2x times negative 5, we get get a negative 10x. And then we know we need a positive 3. So this is going to be a positive, because when we do positive 3 times x, we're going to get a positive 3x. So just to double check ourselves, we'll FOIL out 2x times x is going to give us 2x squared. 2x times a negative 5 is a negative 10x. 3 times x is positive 3x. And 3 times a negative 5 is a negative 15. Combining like terms, negative 10x plus 3x is just like negative 10 plus 3, which is negative 7x, and then minus 15 here. And you can see we got back to our original problem, so we know our factoring here is correct.